What's goody Vibe Tribe? I want to start this episode by just starting off with a rest in peace to Takeoff. Such a sad situation with the Migos. Just showing them love. Hopefully they can get to some kind of solution. On today's episode, these are 7 things that parents should teach their kids to keep them mentally strong. See, mental strength requires you to pay attention to 3 things: the way you think, feel, and act. Thinking big, feeling good, and acting brave helps us grow our mental muscles. Of course, it takes practice, patience, and constant reinforcement to get to the point where you'll do these things naturally. And over time, you see many young people successfully achieve it. So, Vibe Tribe, here are 7 things mentally strong kids always do, and how to help your own kids get there if you haven't already. Number 1, they empower themselves. If your kids say, "My friend got a higher score on the quiz, which makes me feel bad about myself," they're essentially giving someone else power over their emotions. But kids who feel empowered don't depend on other people to feel good. They choose, for example, to be in a bright mood even when someone else is having a bad day or tries to take their anger out on them. Create catchphrases. Work with your kid to come up with phrases that they can repeat to themselves. Use words that show they are in charge of how they think, feel, and behave, regardless of how those around them are doing. This will help drown out all the negative voices in their head that they try to convince them they lack the potential to succeed. The most effective catchphrases are short and easy to remember. All I can do is try my best. Act confident. I'm good enough. I choose to be happy today. All those phrases mean so much in a kid's life. Number 2, they adapt to change. Whether it's moving to a new school or not being able to play with friends during the pandemic, change is tough. Your kids might miss the way things used to be or worry that what's happening might make their life worse. But mentally strong kids understand that change can help them grow into an even stronger person, even though it might not feel that way at first. Name your emotions. Change feels uncomfortable, but just putting a name to your feelings can lessen the sting on these emotions. See, unfortunately, most of us don't spend enough time thinking about how we feel. In fact, even as adults, we tend to put our energy into fighting our emotions. So when your kid is faced with a major change, have them talk elaborately about how they're feeling. More importantly, help them find and define the right words to describe it. Sad, happy, frustrated, nervous, eager. Number 3, they know when to say no. Everyone struggles with speaking up, say no, or express their feelings once in a while. But depending on the situation, choosing not to say yes makes you stronger. Kids often struggle to say no because it can feel awkward and weird. By finding the courage to do it more often, they'll find that it gets easier over time. It also reduces the stress of having to commit to things they don't want to do. Try the give up test. When your kid is faced with a decision to say yes or no, ask them what they will have to give up. If they say yes, for example, saying yes to a play date at a friend's house might mean giving up time spent with siblings. All you have to do is ask them, are you willing to give that thing up? If they decide they don't want to, then say no. If they decide they don't mind, then they can go ahead and say yes. Help them find courage to say no by coming up with polite ways to turn someone down. No, I'm not able to. You don't always need to offer a reason. Thank you so much for inviting me, but I've got other plans. I'll have to check and get back to you. Use this if you need some time to think about it. Also, you can say, I don't really feel like doing that today, but I appreciate you asking. Number 4, they own their mistakes. Kids are often tempted to hide their mistakes because they don't want to get in trouble. Maybe they forgot to do their homework or accidentally broke an expensive vase. Owning your mistakes helps you build character. Kids who are brave enough to practice this recognize what they did wrong and mentally prepare themselves to fully admit to what they did. They also apologize and find ways to avoid making the same mistake again. See, you have to create an environment for success. If your kid is disorganized, they probably have a hard time remembering all their assignments. Or if their room is filled with tons of treats, they might not be able to resist eating too much sugar. When your kid makes a mistake, remind them that they can change their environment in a way that they will prevent them from making the same mistake twice. For example, they can write down assignments as soon as they receive them or remove all unhealthy snacks so they're not within easy reach. Number 5, they celebrate other people's successes. It's normal for kids to feel jealous when their friends get a new toy, for example, or when the other team wins another game. But feeling negatively towards other people only hurts them and not the other party. Encourage your kid to cheer people on when they do a good job. Mentally strong kids are supportive of their peers, and they focus on performing their best without worrying about how everyone else is doing. Act like a person you want to be. Have your kid come up with a list of traits they admire. Maybe they want to be more confident like their sister or optimistic like their teacher. Encourage them to act as if they already possess those traits. When we feel good about ourselves, it's easier to celebrate other people's successes. Number 6, they fail and try again. It can feel embarrassing and disappointing and frustrating, but the most accomplished people reach their goals by failing along the way. See, kids who do well later in life focus their attention on what went wrong and how they can fix it. They have growth mindsets that help them turn failures into positive learning experiences. And number 7, they persist. When it takes a while to reach a goal, or when you don't feel like putting in hard work to succeed, your brain might try to convince you to give up. Mentally strong kids who persist will continue to work hard even when they don't feel like it. Often, they eventually succeed and discover that they're stronger than they initially thought. Write a letter. Have your kids write a letter, filled with words of kindness and encouragement to themselves. Each time they feel tempted to give up, tell them to go back to that letter, and it will motivate them to push forward and persist. So there you have it, Vibe Tribe. 7 things you can teach your kids to become mentally strong. Until next time, Mickey made it.